All right, so sorry about the lighting. It is pretty dark out. I'm starting early this morning, but I got a second Mechman Elite 370 coming. So I'm gonna have two of those guys there. And right now I'm running separate electrical systems. This guy, which is a beefed up stock alternator, was charging my underhood battery, which was giving power to my truck. And then this one was dedicated to my car audio build. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to completely get rid of my truck's electrical system. I'm going to get rid of this AGM battery, and then I'm going to get a second Mechman Elite series alternator. I'm going to be running them in parallel to give me double the potential amperage, and I'm going to be running it to an excess power super bank cap bank. It's the SB 500. So it's going to go from the alternator to my excess power underhood cap bank, which is basically a battery delete with super caps. And then it's going to run back to my lithium Cyber 12K. And I'm going to be running a couple more runs of zero gauge to the back to just be able to deliver the juice a little bit better. So that's the plan. That's what I got going on here to start off the morning. And yeah, let's go ahead and get her going. Little disclaimer, if you're working on your electrical, I always recommend taking out your fuses, because last thing you want to do is accidentally cross a wire, and then you end up shorting out your lithium back there. So battery is out. I'm gonna work on clearing out all the spaghetti here. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I put a custom bolt through there, took out one of the factories, got a little bracket, gonna bolt it to there with some lock washers, cut out a piece of plywood, carpet it, and make a nice fuse platform there to hold my A&L fuses. Okay, so as you can see, I got the piece of plywood cut, piece of standard black automotive carpet, staple gun, and go ahead and get it done up here. All right, so got that nice bracket mounted there. Got the carpeted piece of plywood. Boom, just like that. Gonna mark the holes from underneath, take off the bracket, mount the platform, then reinstall and get my fuse holders in place. Awesome. All right, there it is. As so. There's the platform there. Had to add another bracket here. I know it's not the prettiest. I couldn't get it from underneath, but that is rock solid now. Before it was kind of tippy a little bit, but now probably stand on it's not gonna go anywhere. All right, so there it is installed with the fuse holders in place, and the zero gauge ran to the back. And this is gonna feed directly to my super cat bank here, which I am still yet to receive. And what I'm also gonna do, again, because I'm not gonna fuse from my super cat bank to here, because literally I think it's under 18 inches. It's gonna be pretty close. But just for an extra secure connection, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna get a couple of these, and I'm gonna screw on there, screw on there, screw on there. And basically what these are placeholders for cables, big cables like zero gauge. And you basically screw it down, and then you run a little zip tie through the opening there. You lay the cable in, zip tie it, pull it tight, and it just adds an extra layer of security, just in the case that for whatever reason it wiggles loose out of there. It's not going to come out and spark against the engine or the alternator or something. It's just one more layer of security to hold the cable in place. Probably not necessary, but it's just that peace of mind that gives you the warm and fuzzies as you're listening to your stereo. And there they are right there. I'm going to use black cable ties, but I got a white one here just for an example. So what you're going to do is just going to slip it under there, and then run the cable like normal, zip tie it on, pull it tight, and then you're going to swivel it so that you don't see the end there. It's going to be hidden under there, but it's going to look kind of like that. And it's just going to give that extra layer of protection in case the wire slips out. Because again, I'm not going to be fusing from here to the super cap because it's such a short distance. I'm not going to even bother. And just to be thorough, in case somebody asks, well, why didn't I put these back here? Well, they're not necessary because these actually run to a fuse before they get to the lithium. So I got fuses here, they go through the firewall, back to my lithium, but before they reach my lithium, I got 3 more fuses just like this. So if by chance this wire does come loose, and let's say it shorts out over there, it's gonna pop a fuse. It's not gonna pop my lithium because it is fused before it gets there. So that's why I was just fusing putting extra security on this side, because this is not gonna be fused coming from my super cap, if that makes sense. All right, what I'm doing with all my wiring is I'm putting this expandable sleeving on, and it's perfect size for 0 gauge. And it just kind of, you expand it over it and just slide it on the wire as so. Let me see here. See that? And you just keep pushing it on. And you got the ends like that. What you do is just strip it off, grab some heat shrink. Looks pretty. Alrighty, right. So it finally came in the mail, the Excess Power SB500-34. It's a 34 series super cap replacement to replace your underhood battery. So why don't you say we go ahead and get this thing unboxed? Right. Open this sucker up. Brochures, warranty, decal. And there she is. All right, let's get her out of the box here. All right, well, here she is in the flesh. I cannot believe how light it is. That is so awesome. It feels like it's 10 pounds. So that's gonna save a lot of weight. But as you can see here on the positive terminal, they have a light bulb installed. Okay, and basically what that is, this allows the capacitors to charge properly so you don't have a fireworks show when you attach the positive and negatives to this thing, because it needs to charge up to capacity before you actually connect it solid to your electrical system. Right here, it tells you some steps here. There you go. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing connected to my battery here, make sure it's fully charged, and then hook it up in the system. So let's get this going. All right, so I got my benchtop battery connected on a low charge to my charger there, just so it doesn't drain out my bench battery completely. And how I have this set up ready to get its initial charge, I got the negative obviously attached to the negative, and then from the manufacturer, they have one end of the light bulb connected to the battery, or sorry, super cap, and then the other end, you're supposed to just connect right there. And then you will see the light bulb illuminate, and you should be able to track the voltage to watch it go up to capacity. So let's just test the voltage from out of the box and see what the voltage reads. All right, so from out of the box, the voltage on this super cap bank reads 2.4. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and connect the wire here to the actual battery. The light bulb should illuminate, and then we should see that voltage start to creep up to over 12, 13 volts. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. After some technical difficulties with the light bulb continuing to become disconnected. Oh, there we go again. Okay, I'm just gonna let it go and do some time lapse here to see how long it actually takes to charge. All right, really quick, as you can see, the light is considerably more dim than it was when I started. And the concept is when the light extinguishes, then it is fully charged. So let's go ahead, sorry, I had this disconnected. Let's go ahead and reconnect the voltmeter to see where we're at. $11, we are getting there. I checked the voltage in my car at the lithium bank, and I'm reading 13.5. So I want to make sure to get it up to close to 13.5, if not at 13.5, before I connect it to my stereo. But yeah, once that light completely extinguishes, I'll go ahead and take the voltage and see exactly what it stopped at. And there it is extinguished. Look at that. Caught it going out. All right, I got my super bank charged to 13.5, which is exactly where I wanted it. That's where my lithiums are sitting. And to go on the terminals, I got some of these guys. I thought they were pretty snazzy looking, but I think they're definitely going to be a nice touch on top of the battery there, kind of like a distribution block for me. But yeah, let's get this thing installed. I'm excited already. New 2020 version Mechman Elite 370 amp alternator. This is a powerhouse. It puts out over 200 amps at idle, and regularly dynos for actually over 400 amps at 1500 to 2000 RPM. Very, very substantial unit, and boy, have they done an improvement over the last one. I got two of these that are coming in that are going to be going in the Hummer, and they're going to be replacing the older 370 Elite series. Let me put them side by side so you can kind of see a comparison. All right, so I haven't installed them yet, but side by side, I mean, come on, that's money. That just looks unfinished now compared to this guy right here. Quick side by side. I think it's easy to tell who the winner is there. Dang. All right, let's get this bad boy in. All right, so I'm using these dual 0-gauge inputs to put on the alternator there. As you can see, boom, there it is. She is completely done. So we got two Mechman Elite 370s running in parallel. Coming to my under hood Super Cat Bank XS Power SB500 34 series. Then I got 3 runs of 0-gauge going to my fuse holder, and then straight back to my lithium. And I also got 1 0-gauge ground coming off each alt, coming to the distribution block, and then 2 runs of 0-gauge also going to the back, directed to the lithium. So needless to say, the voltage should be holding rock solid. Only thing left to do is fire up and let her go. Damn.